Welcome to the AFC East Roundtable, a weekly live show featuring top-tier insight, analysis, and heavy debates on all things AFC East. From the best creators in the division, including Buffalo Bills creator Dan Mitchell, Miami Dolphins creator TD Finstock, New York Jets creator Richie from Jets Media, and finally New England Patriots creator Colby from Patriots Global. Make sure you catch the AFC East Roundtable live every Monday at 7 p.m. EST and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. EST on the AFC East Roundtable YouTube channel.
Folks, I want you to put the word out. The Buffalo Bills are back, baby. We're back. Patriots fans, man, hug that first seed in the AFC East as long as you possibly can, because come next week, it's ours again. It is ours again. That much I can tell you, baby. Listen, we beat the Kansas City Chiefs. We beat a real team, man. And so we don't got no junior varsity schedule out there. We're coming. Oh, we're coming, man. Don't even bother looking in the rear view mirror, dude. We just put belt to ass on Kansas City last night. I'm flying high, and God, I can't wait for today's episode. What's going on, boys?
Congrats. First good team you've beaten this season. Proud of you, Dan.
Baltimore is a good team.
They may not even be a good team.
Baltimore had the worst defense in NFL history early on in the season.
Baltimore is good, and you know what? Last time I checked,
Time
I checked too, and the Carolina Panthers took down the Green Bay Packers last week. Okay,
backup quarterback. You beat Andy Dalton, bro. Come on. You want to pump your chest about the Chiefs? I'll give it to you. But
I was about to say, who do we beat last week?
Week one.
Hey, who do we beat on Sunday, though?
You beat the Carolina Panthers with a backup quarterback. I think Carolina's good, but you beat a backup quarterback at the end of the day. Let's calm down.
We're back, baby. We're back. We're back, baby. Go ahead.
I went nowhere, Dan. What happened?
We're back.
Oh, my gosh, man. See, I feel bad for you, Connor, because you in the basement, you can't even comment on this, you know. Only the real teams over here can comment.
So. All right, TD. All right. Again, as I said earlier, my team has more wins in the past 8 days than you guys do in the past month and a half. So
that ain't a flex.
And so, Dan, I think we would be a little remiss if we got right into these recaps real quick without hearing TD's first initial thoughts. Jalen Phillips obviously traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. He's gone. Sounds like you guys are open to trading Jalen Waddle. We got the trade deadline tomorrow, right? By the time Wednesday comes along, we're on the show next. It's all going to be wrapped up. You guys already know what's going to happen next time that you see us. So just, TD, your quick thoughts about Jalen Phillips being traded to the Eagles.
Before we talk about Jalen Phillips, it's funny that Jalen Waddle has just been traded officially.
No way.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
No, stop. No, you're lying. You're lying.
He's going to the NFC, so don't get all excited, gentlemen.
Wait a minute.
You stop the cap, dog. I can't trust this guy, dog.
Is he really?
No, I'm just
no. There's no.
I was about to say, dude. I was about to say, since when are the Buffalo Bills in the NFC, dude? Come on. Since when, brother? Come on, Waddle. Come on, man. Listen, you are a dude. I said, dude, listen, bro. Listen, Penguins waddle in the snow. All right, make it happen. Random.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna allow no Buffalo to trade with Miami, even if the offer is overpaying. They not gonna send Waddle to Buffalo.
I would, dude. I would unload first for the next 5 years at this point.
I mean, we need receivers though. You guys you don't have big name guys, but you make it work. Josh Allen makes it work. So
no, you got to look at the games. You have to look at the games with Buffalo where it's not working. You need a receiver.
But how much are you giving up for Jalen Waddle, man? Like Jalen Waddle, I think is a very good receiver. I think he is kind of in that range of he could be a wide receiver one on an okay team. He could be a middle of the road wide receiver one, very high end wide receiver two. You don't hand out first round picks, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, you do.
Waddle. Yeah, I think that's a deal that you try to strike where it's a handful of day two picks and you give the Dolphins maybe a defensive player where they clearly need the most support or a move like that. I'm under the belief, unless you're trading for a quarterback or a Micah Parsons or someone like that, you don't just go out and give out first round picks like they're candy. That's my interpretation of the value
So-
of these picks nowadays.
So when you say a
I
couple
like
of day two picks or whatever it may be, that's obviously like maybe a second and 2/3. Or
yeah,
something
that's exactly
like
what I was
that.
thinking.
But
Like,
it's
something
the
like that.
equivalent of the first for a late team. Like when we talk about a Jalen Waddle trade and we talk about a first, that would have to be a Philly, a Buffalo, a Kansas City, a team where
Fair
we
point.
know it's going to be a back end first round pick. But listen, the Dolphins, I believe, have made it clear you're going to have to give up a first and maybe even like a fourth just to get it
As
done.
they should. Why
And
would they want to
if it's a desperate team, but here's the deal. I feel like it is worth it if you're a desperate team needing that weapon.
So my thing too, Connor, is that like where the Buffalo Bills ultimately end up picking in the first round each and every single year is like right between 25 and 32.
Yeah.
And like you very rarely ever see a first round graded player past like 20, like for example.
Between
So I'm a bit more okay with shelling off a first round pick in a Buffalo Bills fan's perspective. You know what I mean?
Where did you
I
say
understand
y'all typically draft between?
So we typically draft after 25.
Gonna be
You
21 this
gave
year.
us a range. You said 25 to what?
I said no lies. 25 to 32. We are in that mold between
do
25
not
and
include
32. It's
Do
in the
not
range.
include
Look.
31, okay?
Look,
At
I'm
best.
not saying that we've ever been on the 32 side, but we are between very much how we're
25 to
between
31.
25 and 200. All right. Like that's where it's at.
25 and 30.
25 and 30. That's
I
where
wanna
we're
make
at.
sure
This
we
year,
clear.
32. This year, 32, baby. That's
Yeah.
what
You
we're
sound like
talking.
you sound like the Dallas Cowboys. This is our year. We're coming back. Just you guys wait. Nope. Not
Hey,
again.
Kobe, you know what? I apologize, Dan. I'm totally wrong. You do draft at 32 because you trade with the Chiefs and give them a nice weapon every year.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, hey, you know what? Well, hey, you know what? How'd that work out? Because last time I checked, damn, Xavier Worthy was gobbled up last night
Oh my God.
by a young man by the name of Maxwell
You're
Harrison, dude.
unbearable.
Oh, listen, man, if the Patriots played the Chiefs last night, 48-3 Chiefs, like no questions asked.
Oh,
This
stop
Buffalo
it.
Bills
Patriots,
team,
Patriots
Get
haven't
our
gotten
damn-
blown out once. The Patriots haven't gotten blown out
damn
once.
thing, baby. Oh man, we're cooking in
Oh,
Buffalo right now, baby. Ooh, the smirk's back,
Buffalo
baby.
beats one
The
good team,
smirk's
and we're
back,
pumping our
boys.
chest, man. That's crazy.
All right.
That's
We'll talk
crazy.
about it on Wednesday, Dan. But the good thing is, y'all little happy smirk will be gone at the end of the week. Your next opponent is going to obliterate you. I'm gonna leave it.
Who do y'all play next?
He know
The
he's
Miami
scared.
Dolphins.
That's
Oh
right.
my
Oh.
God.
We play the carcass of
Start
the
next
Miami
show this
Dolphins
week.
on
Okay.
Sunday.
It's a different
Now
team
that-
without
that'll be a
Chris
blowout.
Greer. We're a
That'll be
different
blowout.
team without Chris Greer, baby. We ready.
Yo, TD, did you see how you got rid of Chris Greer, but the reports are that you might still roll it back with Mike McDaniel? Like,
Listen, I ain't listening
you
to
can't
none of
make
that
this
right
up.
now. I'll wait till we hire my next general manager and let him decide. And if he don't get to decide, burn it down. We need a new owner.
y'all are looking at all the games you're losing, and you're like, you know what? The coaching staff, it has nothing to do with it. Nope, it's just the general manager. Let's roll it back. And you know what? Dolphins going Dolphin. But speaking of the Dolphins, TD, y'all got blown out. So why don't you tell us what happened?
You know what? I'll be honest with you, Kobe. That ain't even news anymore. Nobody care about the Dolphins game on Thursday. We lost. We knew we were going to lose, okay? And at the end of the day, we actually won from losing. We were able to move on from our general manager, who's been a New England Patriots spy for 25 years. Y'all laughing. The day he left the Patriots and came to the Dolphins organization back in like 2001 or whatever was when the Patriots dynasty started. That's when it all started. And we've been sabotaged ever since he's been a part of the organization. So he's gone now. The Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson put a number on us, 1-2 stepped on us, and we couldn't keep up. You know, defense played solid early in the game and then gave it up in the second half. We're just outmatched. We don't have enough on the roster, and we can't beat a team like Baltimore. So that's it. There ain't much to say. We're not worried about the fact that we lost. We kind of understand it now. We're moving on to better days. Now it's time to catch up to the Bills and the Patriots.
Wow. Okay. All right. So I don't think that anybody was shocked from the outcome of this game. Like, this Baltimore Ravens team is going to win the AFC North this year. It's just spelled out of where they are. A healthy quarterback is back. Funny enough, by adding that new safety from the LA Chargers into the mix, they have been able to completely shift their defensive mentality, and they look a hell of a lot different throughout the past couple of weeks since he has been instilled into this overall defense. I mean, as far as the Miami Dolphins are concerned, like, this is very much what it is. They are in a rebuild. I imagine that Jalen Phillips this morning was not the first move of departures from this organization. I think we're going to see at least 2 more names go tomorrow. My bet is going to be Jalen Waddle, maybe Minkah Fitzpatrick, maybe Bradley Chubb, who knows. But I'm very interested to see if Miami ultimately ends up keeping their word and sticking with Mike McDaniel for the remainder of the season. Like, who knows? Maybe with the Buffalo Bills go out there and beat him so bad that he ultimately ends up getting fired. Then we won't know. Go off. Connor, what did you think of this Ravens and Miami Dolphins game?
Yeah, when it comes to this game, guys, as much as it pains me to say this, I have to agree with TD. This is a game that I think nobody expected the Dolphins to be in. This is a game where Lamar Jackson had multiple weeks and a full bye week to recover from an injury that left him sidelined and left Baltimore at a significant disadvantage for the prior 3 weeks. So I thought this was a win that Baltimore needed, not only for their locker room, but also for their playoff chances and to really stay in that race and get back on the right track before the end of the season. And I think firing Chris Greer at this point in the year was an incredible move for the Miami Dolphins. And I think holding on to Mike McDaniel, if they do follow through with that word, is the right move as well. I'll tell you why. Now the Dolphins are able to kind of start their search for a new general manager right away. They're able to look at all the names. So once the offseason comes, they have a great idea of who they want to interview, who they want to request, and who they ultimately hire to be the next general manager of this football team. And when it comes to Mike McDaniel, bringing in an interim head coach in the NFL really doesn't work for the long term most of the time. It would only create more drama and headlines around a team that has already been making headlines and being spoken about for the wrong reason. Ride out the rest of the year with Mike McDaniel, then let the new GM pick his head coach. I think that's the process that Miami should follow suit with. And then if you bring in an interim and they string together some wins and they finish with, 7 wins somehow at the end of the year, then you have to worry about the conversation of, well, do we keep the interim head coach like the Raiders got guilt trip into doing with Antonio Pierce a few years ago? We all know how that ended up happening. So at the end of the day, I think everyone expected this result. Great decision by Miami to move on from Chris Greer, and it would be wise to keep Mike McDaniel employed for the rest of the season.
So what you got on that, Colby?
I look at this game, and it's kind of crazy when you actually go back and you look at the stats that this was as much of a blowout as ultimately it was. And the fact that earlier, literally just 5 minutes ago, we were talking about how, based off reports, Mike McDaniels might ultimately be sticking around. And as a Patriots fan, I certainly hope that they do so. But if you're a Dolphins fan, you better hope that they get this guy out of here. I mean, the decision to have Tua throw the ball 40 times, I know in large part of that was because you guys were behind as much as you were, so you had to try to pass your way to get back into this. But throwing the ball 40 times when you don't have Tyreek just is not a recipe to succeed. And you guys were showing some promise there on the ground game. I mean, when you guys were giving Malik Washington some opportunities, and I know he ultimately did fumble, but, he showed some good promise there on the ground. A-Chain was averaging 4.8 yards per carry. And I think the thing about Miami is, that Tua was going to turn the ball over, and he did it yet again in this game. And so when you're asking him to throw the ball 40 times, that's ultimately just a recipe for disaster. And that's exactly what showcased itself. I mean, the fact that Baltimore put up 28 points. And honestly, Lamar Jackson was very accurate with the football. He played a good game, but he didn't light up the stat sheet. He didn't do anything spectacular. He had 204 passing yards. He had 4 passing touchdowns, but he only had another 14 yards on the ground. So he really didn't do all that much with under 250 all-purpose yards against you guys. But in classic Miami fashion, you couldn't stop the run. Future New England Patriots running back Derrick Henry goes 19 attempts for 119 yards on you guys. And so, honestly, Miami, this was the type of game where it was going to give you your biggest struggle defensively, and that was stopping the run. And so at the end of the day, Miami is going to Miami. I think Dolphins fans, you should be happy with the loss at the end of the day. It got your GM fired. Now just hope that you get blown out this fashion next week so that Mike McDaniels is fired next.
Mike McDaniels, dude, your time is limited here in Miami. So I'm sure that there will be a parade, especially conducted by TD Finstock himself.
TD, you're going to throw a parade, man? Are we all invited?
For a new age. All right, man.
Super Bowl parade.
Well, first off, we can go ahead and get to some super chats here. Folks, we encourage, as you come in, please hit that thumbs up sign for us. There's 441 of you watching on YouTube. I could guarantee you at least 50% of you are not subscribed. Subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, guys. We want to make sure that we continue to grow this community so we can welcome more AFC East fans into the mix to have our bi-weekly conversations. All right? I love to see it. All right, man. We have Alex Mason. Wasn't the same team of old, Dan, when you lose 3. We've lost 2, my friend. 6-2, pal. Taron Johnson restructure just gave us another $1.75 million in cap space. Beans cooking something up.
Nothing like an extra $1 million in cap space. That's like having an extra $1 in your pocket in the NFL.
What is Bean cooking up, ladies and gentlemen? Round table, do you think the Bills win the Super Bowl? A resounding yes. All 4 of us believe that.
No.
A resounding yes. All 4 of us believe that with our whole soul. My Dolphins finally fired Chris Greer, and my Dodgers won the World Series. It's been a great week of sports. Damn, man. Dude, you know what? I'm glad that a lot of you sports fans here are happy. Dan, I'm back, fool. TD Pats talk. Shake
TD Pats talk.
After TD was the biggest Patriots hater all of last year.
See, I don't get this.
He's switched allegiances.
Maybe Kobe has to, maybe I'll hear from Kobe because I can't hear from anyone else. Kobe, is there anything wrong with me just being honest that Drake May is the best quarterback in the division, maybe even the NFL?
You called him the worst quarterback,
and that the Patriots are back and that they're the best team in this division. And you know what? Maybe there was a time I thought he was the worst. But is there something wrong with me being honest now and telling the truth?
I mean, it's a little contradicting when you went out talking crap when you thought that the Dolphins, were competitive last year, and so you went out hating on the Patriots. When they were showing this promise with Drake May last year, you saw what they were building up to, and you still gave hate. But at the end of the day, you talk good about an opposing team, you're going to be a D-rider, just like I did with the Buffalo Bills. I gave Josh Allen and the Bills their praise. All of a sudden, I was a Bills lover. Then you go out and you give constructive criticism, and all of a sudden, you're the biggest hater in the world. It's one or the other. You can't be in the middle, apparently.
Yeah, no, you cannot, man. You cannot, man. It is a false dichotomy in sports. It's either that you glaze the team or you even critique them slightly and you're a hater. There's no in the middle. There is no such thing in this business. That much I can tell you. No. Okay. Let's go on ahead and talk about our good friends, the New England Patriots. All right, because they ended up beating the Atlanta Falcons in an absolute nail biter, might I say. Colby, thoughts on the game? Biggest takeaways from your squad? Go ahead.
Yeah, Dan, it was a nail biter. It was probably the biggest nail biter we've had all season long, man. I'm watching all these other teams like having 1-point victories, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't think my heart could take it. And my heart couldn't. But you know what? It's a privilege. It's a privilege to be able to be in games like this and come out on the winning side. Because for so many years, Patriots were in games like this, but they were on the losing side to where I didn't have any hope at the end of the game the Patriots could win these games. But even against a decent team like Atlanta, I felt in my stomach like, okay, we have a chance. And so I felt that feeling in the pit of my stomach where this could go either way. It's coming down to the wire. One last pass can change how this game goes. But for the first time in so long, my New England Patriots were on the right side of this. I want to be completely honest. And those of you who are going to box score watch will call me a clown in the comment section. But for those who actually watched the game, this should have been the 4th blowout the New England Patriots provided of the season. Ultimately, it didn't happen, and what happens is the reality of so. But the Patriots had a 14-point lead against Atlanta with the ball to finish out the second quarter. Not to mention the fact that the Patriots got the ball to start the third quarter. So they had an opportunity to go up 21 points against Atlanta to end the first half and then receive the ball in the second half, go up 28 points. No pun intended when I say 28 points, but go up 28 points against Atlanta in this game. What happens? They get the ball. They're driving down the field. Michael Onwenu completely whiffs on a block. You have multiple free rushers, including rookie Jalen Walker, come in. Literally, Jalen Walker breathes on Drake May. The ball goes flying. They pick up the ball. Thank God Will Campbell trucks the guy down and pulls him down. But a few plays later, Michael Penix capitalizes in the end zone. And so instead of the Patriots having a 21-point lead going into halftime, now they only have a 7-point lead. But whatever, Patriots come back out. They have the ball to start the second half. Few plays in, Drake May has pressure. He gets flushed outside. He's running. Ball flies out. Thankfully, he picks it up, but that drive ultimately dies because they're stopped well behind the line of scrimmage. And then later in the second half, Drake May, Hunter Henry, not on the same page. Hunter Henry breaks outside. Drake May thinks that he's going to run a go out. One of the few times we don't see those guys on the same page. Drake May throws the ball into a pool of defenders because it was a miscommunication. Jesse Bates, one of the best free safeties in the NFL, picks the ball off. And so really turnovers were just the name of the game. And look, the offensive line hasn't held up. Over the last 2 weeks against Cleveland and against Atlanta, the Patriots offensive line has given up over 10 sacks. Drake May was blitzed on over 48% of his dropbacks against Atlanta. We knew that last week was going to be a big test against Cleveland with the #1 defense. This was another big defense with a top 3 unit that Atlanta has. #1 secondary in the NFL, top 3 pass rush in the NFL. Ramondre Stevenson didn't play in this game, so the Patriots didn't really have a whole lot of rushing game that they could rely on. They tried it, didn't work out with Travion Henderson. They were forced to pass the ball. It was quite literally the Patriots having to go against the strength of this Atlanta Falcons defense, and it bit them in the butt when it mattered the most. But Patriots still were ultimately able to end up on top. Drake May has now beaten Patrick Mahomes for the most consecutive games with a 100-plus passer rating and 200-plus passing yards. Drake May finishes with a 70% adjusted completion percentage. He goes 19 of 29 for 259 yards, averaged 13.6 yards per throw, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, sacked 6 times, and an overall rating of 102.5. So you really can't get on Drake May and say he played a bad football game. The rating backs up the fact that outside the turnovers, he really didn't have a bad game. Demario Douglas popped off. Prayers to Demario Douglas, by the way. He said that the night prior, his uncle was actually shot and killed, and so he went out there and played for his uncle. He went 6 targets, 4 receptions, 100 yards, and 1 touchdown. From a defensive perspective, the Patriots defense played well. Like I told you guys this the last few weeks, the Patriots defense is the only defense since 1970 to not allow a running back to go for over 50 yards. Dan, you said, yeah, but you didn't play really any good running backs. Yeah, Bijan Robinson's a different monster. Bijan Robinson had 12 attempts, 46 yards, 3.8 yards per carry. Tyler Algier had 2 carries, 6 yards, 3 yards per carry. The Patriots came into this game and said, we're going to force Michael Penix to beat us through the air, take away the run game. That's the recipe to beat them. And they did beat them, but Michael Penix started to kill them through the air. Why? Because the Patriots had no pass rush off the edge. They allowed Michael Penix to sit back there in Boston, have a little tea party of his own. He went 22 of 37 for 221 yards. He was sacked 1 time, 3 touchdowns, and an overall rating of 103.5. The crazy part is that you shut down the run game. Kyle Pitts had 38 yards. Darnell Mooney had 15 yards. One guy killed the Patriots all game long and made this thing close, and that was Drake London. Didn't matter if you had Marcus Jones, Christian Gonzalez, Carlton Davis. This guy was just going up and mossing these guys all game long. London goes 14 targets, 9 receptions, 118 yards, and 3 touchdowns. It wasn't the prettiest one, but Atlanta is a better team that people give them credit for. They're just inconsistent, and the Patriots were at least able to do something that Buffalo wasn't able to do a few weeks ago and beat the Atlanta Falcons. A win is a win, and we move on to 6 straight wins now, baby. You like that?
And so what you got on that TD Pats talk?
Oh, yeah, TD. Yeah, we got to go with my boy TD, man. TD, I know you like that. I know you like that win.
Listen, man. Every week, I just get more and more impressed by the New England Patriots. I just get more and more impressed by the Patriots. Like, how do we allow this to truly happen? The Tom Brady was done. They hadn't, like, was it 2020? 29. When was the last time they won a division?
Last time they won the division was with Brady in 2019.
2019. Here we are 6 years later, and they're right back. We got to do better, Bills, Dolphins, and Jets. We got to do better. This team is about business. They're shutting down everybody's run. The pass rush may have issues, but at the same token, the defense still playing great football overall. This offense is electric. This offense is explosive. They got a guy. They got a top guy. They got a top guy that's making plays.
Mhm.
I mean, and listen, the stat sheet is good actually, but you don't even need to look at the stat sheet. He's just out there making plays and playing great football. And it's hard to lose when you got a guy like that. I watch Drake May's plays, his explosive plays, and his improvisational skills, and I just think to myself, there's so many guys in the NFL would never have this outcome to this play. Too many. So, congratulations, New England Patriots fans. Could y'all imagine winning the Super Bowl this year, Gobi?
It'd be just like 2001, man, all over again.
Could you imagine, like Dan Mitchell,
Reminiscing.
if you saw and Connor, if you saw the Patriots win the Super Bowl this year, what would go on in your mind?
That I'm going to, so I'm going to run it back on Madden once again.
Oh Lord!
I'm going to re-stimulate the season on Madden.
Denial, man. It's all right.
I'm going to re-sim the Madden simulation. That's what I'm going to do.
I'd shake my head and be like, how did we get a franchise guy? Last year they got him in the round. This time they got him all. They can hit anywhere.
It's crazy. And let me say this. People can say that I'm glazing Drake May. I'm loving on Drake May and all this and that.
It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with your appreciation of the Patriots. It has everything to do with how much you despise Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
It's just not true, Dan. Now that's an added bonus on top of it.
Tell me if you think that TD's alliance with the New England Patriots has nothing to do with his hatred for the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen.
What am I saying about the Patriots that's false? What am I saying that's false? What am I stretching to hate on Josh Allen and the Bills? Nothing. Everything I'm saying is factual, though. Drake May is the best quarterback in the NFL right now, man.
Well, he doesn't have the same amount of touchdowns as Josh Allen does right now. He has 20.
You're right, but he beats him in every other category against Josh Allen. But all right.
Except for last week. Way better QBR. No turnovers either. Yeah. No turnovers either. No turnovers either. Hey, listen. Listen. I've had the cupcake schedule before. I know what it's all about. Look, bro, you cannot talk me off of a mountain right now.
Yeah, you up
there. You're acting like the Bills scheduling one of the easier ones in the NFL either. Everybody wants to talk about the Patriots. No one's talking about the Bills.
Except for ours is harder, man. Ours is harder compared to the Patriots.
Yours is slightly harder, but according to NFL strength of the schedule, you're a few spots behind the Patriots. So it's you got to say the Patriots is easy, but it's like, what about the Bills?
Well, hey, man, say that the Pats and the Bills were the only teams in the NFL who would have the easiest schedule.
Listen, tell me what quarterback in the NFL, Dan Mitchell. Dan Mitchell, tell me what quarterback.
Yeah, there wouldn't be any schedule because we would be the only two teams in the NFL. Anyway.
Which quarterback in the NFL, Dan Mitchell, would you tell me is doing more than Drake May with what he has?
Sam Darnold.
Everybody.
Sam Darnold has JSN.
So you think Sam Darnold got less than Drake May? Drake May's O-line is not as good as y'all think.
Look,
the O-line, the pass.
Here's the deal. So here's the deal. First off, so I feel like people's attention spans are not that concrete because many remember that I was on the Drake May and the New England Patriots train at the beginning of the offseason. I had them going 11-6. I had them going 11-6 as a wild card team, and I said that Drake May was going to take a step in the right direction. People are inaccurately labeling me as a hater, but I need to go on ahead and tell you, I still genuinely believe that you're going to finish 11-6 and be a wild card team. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. Like, you are quite literally in the first year of a rebuild. You are exceeding expectations. I think you're going to be a good team moving forward. I still think that you are a year away from being a true juggernaut, but don't make any mistakes. I'm not hating on the Patriots. I have laid out my expectations and my thoughts on this team for a long time.
They already better than y'all, Dan. Stop. They already passed you, bro.
You're just gonna let him say
I
that.
think what people neglect to remember is that why are the Patriots as good as they are right now? Because I remember when you guys asked me, Colby, what's the ceiling? And I was like, I think if everything hits, they can get to double-digit wins. They can get to 10 wins. Now there's a world in which they get to more, and you guys laughed in my face. What's getting
I
them
had them
past
winning
these
9.
limitations is the coaching staff. That's what you're not remembering, is that the roster isn't great, but it's the coaching staff.
So here's my deal. So here's my deal. This is why I believe I'm going to be correct about the New England Patriots. It's something that TD ultimately ended up saying today on 4th and Forever, which I think is actually very true. They better damn well find a running back during the trade deadline and get this run game going, because you are getting into prime. You have to run the football or you're in deep shit. Like, you have to be able to run the football once November and December and that winter weather starts coming into it. I have no idea what this coaching staff's problem is with, like, Henderson for some odd reason. They just don't like that guy.
No, there's a reason behind Travion.
Breaking news.
I would love to hear it.
A-Chain in New England.
Be quiet.
See, I don't want A-Chain. That's not the type of running back I even want.
Yeah. But why I think that is the case. Yes, with Drake May has been looking good, and their pass attack has looked absolutely incredible. But once you start going up against playoff caliber secondaries, playoff caliber defenses, and you need to be able to establish the run in winter weather, that is where I see their weakness being, as far as being a well-rounded team. And that's just one draft, one free agency away. So what I'm saying is not crazy.
Well, to be fair, Dan, they did go up against two of the best defenses in the last 2 weeks. Now, I know the offenses have their questions, and that's going to be the difference maker, but it's like the Patriots, they're not going to face better defenses than what they faced in Cleveland and what they faced in Atlanta. That's just a fact.
Yeah. Except for this Buffalo Bills team has been the best.
Here we go.
I
knew it was coming, man.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. Dude, you got Taylor Rapp out and Oliver out. Like, what am I supposed to be scared of? The only thing that scares me is if you guys get like a good wide receiver at the deadline, which I think you could.
Nah, they ain't getting one. Dan, you're showing up and showing out over beating a team that ain't even a playoff team this year.
You're trying to tell me that holding Patrick Mahomes to 44% completion percentage.
They're not making the playoffs.
Beat him in the playoffs.
44% completion percentage. And miss me with the whole thing of, Kansas City, they were holding back. Those Cubs are in 3rd place. And you want to know why I know that the Buffalo Bills are winning the Super Bowl this year? Because the Kansas City Chiefs aren't making the playoffs. All right? The Kansas City Chiefs are making the playoffs. No one's stopping us now. And nobody's stopping us, baby. Brick walls coming after us, man. Ooh, just wait.
Connor, do we get your thoughts on this game?
No. Just
let's hear your thoughts first.
I'll fire. Michael Penix, I think, is one of the most inconsistent quarterbacks on a play-to-play, game-to-game basis in the NFL. I was watching Red Zone all of Sunday. The Jets, of course, had a bye week, and there were some throws I'd look at and be like, this guy isn't an NFL caliber quarterback. And then the next play, he uncorks 155 yards down the field for a touchdown. So you see plays that gives you flashes of promise if you're a Falcons fan as to why Michael Penix can be a very good quarterback. And then the following play just entirely contradicts that. As for the Patriots' performance, look, it wasn't pretty. It was a hard-fought game. They would have gone to overtime if a familiar face in Parker Romo didn't miss what would have been a game-tying extra point in the 4th quarter. But at the end of the day, they won, and good teams find gritty ways to win. That's what the New England Patriots did on Sunday, and I just think this hard-fought win means a lot for the locker room. Now they're 7-2. They have, obviously control of first place in the AFC East, as we've been talking about all show long. This was a huge win for the Patriots, not only because it got them to 7-2 on the year, but the way they fought and the way they battled after, you're coming off a slew of games where you were blown out, where they blew the opposing team out, against the Browns, against the Titans, and then a little closer of one against the Saints, the narrow one against the Bills. But I think against the Falcons, this was a big test for New England, to test their grit, to test their fire, and they passed that test with a 24-23 win.
Congratulations,
absolutely, man.
Congratulations.
We rolling, baby.
Yes, sir.
We rolling.
I'm proud of you, Kobe.
The Patriots are one of 2 teams that is left undefeated on the road, by the way. It's them and the Seattle Seahawks. So now they have back-to-back wins at home. So 6 wins in a row, baby.
And you know what? Drake May every game he's played this year, he only has one game under 100 rating. I think he needs 2 more to break the record all time.
He already passed Patrick Mahomes, so
2 more and he breaks the all-time record. And who's your next 2 games?
We have the Jets after this week, and then we have Tampa this week.
Ooh, Tampa this week?
That's not going to be an easy game.
Tampa this week. Yeah,
that's the one where
next 2 will be tough.
I'm going to think the Tampa game is his opportunity.
We got an early bye week in 2 weeks, baby.
Dan think the Tampa game is his opportunity.
So the division is ours again next Monday.
There's potential you can reclaim it for a week, yeah.
No, he can't, because even if you tied, you have the tiebreaker.
So they'd have more losses than us.
Whoa,
first place, baby.
Had your bye. Oh,
yeah, right now we're the same record.
hey.
So Dan, before we move on, do we want to talk about the Bills game and then get into the Patreon callers, or get some in now and then get into the Buffalo game?
So we can get some in.
All right. So let's switch on over to the Patreon, and I say we start off with the first man in the chat. We start off with Mr. Lino. What's up, Lino?
Oh man, I'm first man in the chat. Okay, all right.
What's up, Lino?
What up?
What's going on, TD? Fence, is it Fence talk or is it Pat's talk? You gotta convince me which one it is.
It's true talk. That's all. It's true.
TD,
talk.
you don't tell the truth to save your damn life. Get out of here.
Fact talk.
It's fact talk. I got you. Was it fact talk last year when you were getting on Drake May, calling him a bum and all this other stuff and laughing in Kobe's face?
Yeah, it was fact talk, because I'm a true believer in if you're not first, you're not last. And now he's first, so he's the greatest right now.
So when me and Dan was saying, "Hey, Kobe, it's all right, your team will get better," were we lying or were we not fact talking?
No. Y'all were just looking for allies for all your empty trips to the playoffs. That's all it was.
Oh, bingo! So ain't that what you're doing this year? Ain't that what you're doing this year? TD, you're a weasel. You're a weasel. You are a weasel. You are a weasel.
Yo, Lino, we appreciate the call. And dude, you know what? Like, that is an appropriate term. A weasel, man. Dude, you weasel your way in.
Y'all don't like the truth, man. I don't get it. It's today's society. The truth hurts.
Shout out to Lino. Parks is in the building. Parks, what's up, man?
First of all, hey TD, how does it feel to lose to the Falcons this year?
We didn't lose.
So you don't know, right?
No.
Mm-hmm.
See, the Patriots in Atlanta don't know. Dan, how does it feel?
Well, let me tell you what. It feels incredible to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, baby.
Oh,
that's
Dan, let me break something down to you, Dan. No, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to go. I'm going to tell you something, Dan, that Bills fans are telling us that we did all that to barely be able to beat y'all, right? Mm-hmm. Y'all played y'all best game of the season and barely beat them. Dan, you could have lost. You had Patrick Mahomes flushed in and everything. You could have lost because your offense didn't score in the fourth quarter. Dan, you're not beating those people. You better hope they don't make the playoffs, because if they do and you do that, Dan, you're not winning. You're not going to the Super Bowl. And Dan, one more thing before I go. You said that Kansas City don't make the playoffs. You're going to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Then you think the same thing when Cincinnati beat you at home? And I'm out of here, fellas. Goodbye. Oh. Patriots world, Celtics world.
Man.
Mike,
the Heat.
Cincinnati's definitely not making the playoffs. All right. Cincinnati, Kansas City. This is the world.
With that defense?
Buffalo. Yeah. No.
They can't allow 35, 40 points a game. And
no. Not at all. So the Cincinnati Bengals are a cautionary tale of don't give 3 players $200 million. All right. And expect that you're going to have a good football team. All right.
So
it is
a 68%
what it is. Maybe we should have a conversation about Joe Burrow as well, based off of how Flacco has been gunning that offense so far this year. Is Joe Burrow overrated? I don't know. Anyway, let's move on, because it's either that we crown Joe Flacco as one of the greatest of all time, Hall of Famer, or we say Joe Burrow is overrated. That's what we do, right?
Joe Flacco is a great quarterback.
Joe Flacco is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He'll be in the conversation for his own little stone there.
He is. That is what I am talking about. All right, let's go ahead and transition over to the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs game real fast. Let's talk about this one. All right. So in all seriousness, I needed this Buffalo Bills team to show me that they had a semblance of their 2024 squad, and by God, they did. All right. Sean McDermott taking over play calling going into the second half of the Atlanta Falcons game has really paid its dividends for this defense. It looks completely different. It looks like that the guys are trusting the calls that are being brought into focus. And this Buffalo Bills defense pitched a perfect game against this Kansas City Chiefs high-flying offense. Yes. For the past 3 weeks, this was the number one offense in the NFL for all advanced metrics, EPA, DVOA, you name it. You pressure Patrick Mahomes 28 times. You end up holding him to a completion percentage of close to about 44%, which is by far among the lowest of his career. Mm-hmm. Some of the best disguise coverages I have seen from this unit. It's clear that Sean McDermott cannot give play calling abilities and responsibilities back to Babbage all season long. I love seeing particular players step up, a lot of which that were public enemies number one for the Buffalo Bills. Cole Bishop has been a man on fire for the past 2 weeks. As far as Taylor Rapp is concerned, like Colby mentioned earlier, dude was a liability for us all season. He was awful. He was among one of the worst players on the field. Surprisingly enough, when Jordan Poyer comes back, I'm not sure if Cole Bishop is just more comfortable running with Jordan Poyer, but his play has been absolutely exceptional. Had 4 pass breakups, 7 tackles. He sent Travis Kelce into the damn shadow realm with that one tackle on that one end zone attempt on Travis Kelce. So, like, he was a man possessed. Shout out to Maxwell Harrison. Like, dude did exactly what we drafted him to do. Take away the speed guy. Watching him go stride for stride with the fastest wide receiver in the NFL and then also picking off Pat Mahomes was just the cherry on top. Like, this defense is really moving. As far as missing out on Ed Oliver and Michael Hoyt, both of those guys played 2 games so far this season, and this defensive line was still top 3 in pressure percentage. Hoyt and Ed Oliver make this D-line elite. Without them, it is a great defensive line. And compared to what Buffalo has had to deal with from their defensive line throughout the McDermott and the Bean era, great. I will take it each and every single day of the week because that has been one of our weaknesses. Love this defense. It is moving. Through the past 2 weeks after the bye, you are looking at the second best secondary in the NFL throughout the past 2 games and the 5th best run defense in the league. This has to do with play calling, and this has to do with run fits, and this has to do with like pressure packages. Love what I see from this defense. Let's continue it. As far as this offense is concerned, it goes to show you how effective and how important Dalton Kincaid is to this pass game. A lot of Bills fans always say, like, we need this wide receiver that could open up everybody else. Statistics show that Dalton Kincaid is that guy. Like, we finally saw a downfield passing game where Josh was connecting on multiple 30 yards downfield, 40 yards downfield, a lot of it to the tight ends. James Cook on an absolute heater. He ended up putting up 100 yards against the run defense that has not allowed a 100-yard rusher in over 27 games. His speed, his vision, he's one of the best backs in the NFL. He deserves Saquon Barkley money. It's crazy to say, but he deserves Saquon Barkley money all along. Same thing with this offensive line, doing their job, top 3 in the league. And Josh just ended up saving one of his best games for a competition like this. So, great win from this Bills squad. Like, quite simply, we just outcoached this team. We outplayed this team in every single metric. Miss me with the whole thing that Kansas City wasn't taking it seriously because it was the Bills and they wanted to save it for the playoffs. No team is going to save anything for the playoffs when you're sitting in 3rd place in your division and knowing that you lose that game drops you 5-4 and out of the playoff race. This was just the Buffalo Bills are the better football team, and we ended up proving that. And it's a big win. We needed this win, and now we're on to the Miami Dolphins. And I cannot wait for 7-2.
All right. Well, I guess I'll start by addressing the whole piece about the Buffalo Bills, whether they're good enough or not this year. Yes, they are. And you're correct, Dan. They are better than the Chiefs. The Buffalo Bills, from a matchup standpoint, are better than the Chiefs. But this is what the Bills built for. The Bills were building for a well-rounded team, but that well-roundedness kept getting knocked down. And then you started to customize. We need players that can cover the crossing routes. We need players that can attack this. We need a better run game. This is how we'll beat the Chiefs. And you spent 3 years trying to figure that out, and you figured it out last year, if you ask me. Okay? But you're actually following through with it, I believe, completely this year, because even in the playoffs, I think you would beat the Chiefs now. I just think that you've taken that next step to know that you would, and have the confidence that you can. But the problem is, this is what I always say about the Buffalo Bills now. Getting so hyper detailed on beating the Chiefs, which I get it because they were the only threat, has other teams gotten a whole different matchup that you're exposed against. You know, like when Parks came in and he said, TD, how does it feel to beat Atlanta? And he was making a joke because the Dolphins beat Atlanta. The Patriots beat Atlanta. But the reason why the Bills didn't beat Atlanta, number one, they were killing themselves, but number two, it was a bad matchup in certain areas. So is there other teams that the matchup can expose the Bills? So that's what they have to play out for now, to make sure that they really have a shot at doing something special. But this game in particular, the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm not going to diminish your win, Dan. This was impressive. But the Kansas City Chiefs, maybe they are a shell of themselves. We get all excited because they rattle off a few wins and be like, here come the Chiefs. They're on their way again. But let's go over their wins. They beat the Commanders, who struggled all season. They beat the Raiders. Who cares? They beat the Ravens when the Ravens were at their lowest point. They beat the Giants. Again, who cares? The impressive win that they have, and this team is showing to be inconsistent themselves after that beatdown yesterday, is against the Lions. That's what made us say, oh, the Chiefs, yeah, they're about to be back. They just beat the Lions. But look at the Lions against Minnesota yesterday. So the Lions may not even be as ironclad as people think. So the Chiefs, I do not think they're going to make the playoffs, Dan. I do not think that they're actually going to make the playoffs. I really don't, but we'll see.
Better hope, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll jump in here quickly because I do have to go after I share my thoughts here quickly on this game. It's a great win for Buffalo, and the Bills are a team that notoriously play well in the regular season and are able to squeeze out a couple regular season wins against teams that are competitive, against teams that play till the final whistle. My thought now is, okay, if I'm a Bills fan, I'm gassed up, I'm excited after a win like this. But then you have to turn your attention, focus to the playoffs, whether it's this year, whether it's next year. The next time the Chiefs and Bills meet in a big moment in the playoffs, the Bills have to come out on top, because we've seen these regular season wins for only so long, and they have to win against this Kansas City Chiefs team when it matters. And if they do, they will be the new face of the NFL, because nobody has been able to dethrone Mahomes in the AFC. Josh Allen hasn't been able to. Joe Burrow has not been able to. Lamar Jackson has not been able to. You look at those three plus Mahomes, those are the big four when it comes to the top four quarterbacks in most people's eyes in the National Football League. If Josh Allen is able to put together that performance in the postseason, you're having talks about him and Mahomes, who's the best quarterback in the NFL. Josh Allen needs to be the one to break that trend and beat the Chiefs when it matters in the playoffs. Guys, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Great going back and forth with you all. Have a great night, folks.
Thanks for coming.
Connor, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
No problem. Always happy to fill in. Shout out to my guy, Richie. Thanks for the invite. As always, see you guys next time. And as always, JTS, baby. Jets.
Shout out to Connor, man. Shout out to the guy.
Well, Dan, I'll close what I was saying by summing it all up to let Bills fans know I truly do feel that the Bills are competitors this year, but I just still worry about that new fish coming in and knocking Buffalo off in the playoffs early in the playoffs because of the matchup or how they're built. But yeah, that was impressive regardless because the Chiefs know how to play you all well, typically as well. That was a big time win, and you didn't just do it. I feel like you took control of that game for the most part. So, yeah, man, Buffalo series, just not the Patriots.
Hey, man, look, and so Buffalo won this game the way that they like to win football games, right? They came in here and they said, we're going to beat the Chiefs with the same identity that they've been able to win every other football game they've won this year. And that is Josh Allen not turning the football over. He did not do that in this game. First time in a little bit here. He hasn't done that. But then, of course, also getting James Cook going. Because when you guys don't have a run game, it seems like this season, when you have to rely on Josh Allen to do it all by himself and pass the ball through the air 40 times, that's when the turnovers happen. That's when you guys start to lose games. That's what happened against the New England Patriots. They forced Josh Allen to turn the ball over multiple times, and they shut down James Cook. You lost the game. The following week when you played the Atlanta Falcons, James Cook really didn't do a whole lot. Josh Allen turns the football over. What happens? You guys lose that game. They came in here, they played disciplined football, and that's how they ultimately walked away with this one. It's hard for me to bump my chest. Look, I know that this is going to be big for Buffalo fans because it's always going to be Josh Allen against Patrick Mahomes. It's always going to be that rivalry. It's always going to be that storyline. But I think there's some Buffalo fans out there that are bumping their chest so hard about this one, like they beat the number one team in the NFL, and that's not what the Kansas City Chiefs are. Two things cannot be true at the same time, that you can bump your chest about beating the Kansas City Chiefs like you beat the greatest team in the NFL, but then also go out there and say that the Kansas City Chiefs aren't this great team and they haven't beat good teams and try to demote who they are also. It's either one or the other. And you look at it, and the Chiefs have not been consistent this year. They dropped a few games early on in the season. They've dealt with injuries. They've been wildly inconsistent. And like TD said, they started to build some momentum. When you look at that Detroit Lions game, that's when we said, okay, are the Kansas City Chiefs actually back? But they didn't string enough wins together after that game for us to truly say, yes, the Kansas City Chiefs are back. And yes, it was premature to put them down in the basement. The questions about the Chiefs are still out there. Like you guys have alluded to, they're third in the AFC West. The Kansas City Chiefs, they're not in the current playoff picture right now. They're only in the hunt. And we'll see if they can get there at the end of the day. But all we know is the facts. And these things right now are the facts. And if you're the Buffalo Bills, you're going to have harder opponents this year. You're going to have to beat those opponents if you really want to make a statement, and it's still to be determined. You went out there, you won this game, but still nothing's new. We see you beat the Kansas City Chiefs every single year. It's nothing new. Let's see you go out there and do something new. If you want to tell me you're going to go to the Super Bowl and win it this year, if you want to tell me Buffalo's different than this year, then go out and do something different. But right now, this hasn't proven it to me. Right now, you took care of business. Don't get me wrong. It was a good win by Buffalo at the end of the day. But now string together wins like this. Josh Allen, string together games where you're not turning the football over anymore. James Cook, show us that you can string together games where you're going off for 100 yards consistently. And when they start to do that, we'll start talking more about Buffalo. But right now, just you guys doing what y'all do.
Beat the Dolphins and you're legitimate.
If you beat the Dolphins and you blow out the Dolphins, there's no takeaway. That's you guys taking care of business.
Kobe, what if they lose to the Dolphins? Then what?
If y'all lose to the Dolphins, you're done. You're done. That's
y'all
it.
Cook, man. We about to ruin y'all season.
Because Buffalo's a good team, right? Buffalo's one of the best teams in the NFL. So with that being said, you are supposed to go out and just put Tua into an early retirement. And if you don't do that, you're not a good team.
Man, I'm going to tell you now, Tua might beat him. But Kobe, I got a question for you. Who do you think is the best team in the AFC right now?
Right now, so heading into week 10?
Yep. Just give me one team. No qualifiers.
Past doesn't matter. We're only talking about 2025. Okay. If that's the case, it's the Colts. How can you not say it's the Colts right now?
So the Colts better than the Patriots?
Right now, I would say, yeah. I'm not going to put the Patriots at number one.
If y'all played each other, you would predict the Colts beat the Patriots.
I don't know. I'd have to look more deep into the numbers. We don't play them this season, and so I don't know their strengths and weaknesses versus ours.
I'm just saying, it's the first round. And what if it's the first round of the playoffs?
All I know is that the Colts are a really good football team right now.
But what do they do well?
They pass the ball well. They run the ball well. Their defense gets takeaways. Y'all have a top run defense.
That's
true. I'm not saying the Patriots can't win that game. I'm just saying, if we're talking about who's the best team in the AFC right now, I am going to give it to the Colts.
Just curious. I was just curious.
All
right, Dan.
Folks, we need to give a giant shout out to our good friends over on Sleeper. Folks, Sleeper is the #1 player prop platform on the market today. It's a very simple process. Build your parlay with anywhere between 2 to 6 players. If you accurately predict their game stats above and or below, you could be a big winner, up to 1,000x of your initial deposit. Signing up, you get a free $20 just for signing up. Monday Night Football is about to start here shortly. Go on ahead and take advantage of this promo. Terms and conditions apply. Always play responsibly. Also, if you are looking for a player prop situation here where you are looking for data and analytics to help you put more educated research into your player prop plays, have to go check out RotoWire. It is the #1 player prop research tool on the market today. Link is in bio. Using our code RTS will get you 15% off. They handpick and gift wrap overs and unders on Sleeper each and every single day. It is a cheat code. Go ahead and check out RotoWire, folks, and let us know your thoughts in the comment section. All right, folks, let's go ahead and welcome in our final Patreon caller.
DF.
I got dinner ready for me, and I'm ready to eat. DF, what do you got, man? How you doing?
Time to feed, baby. Time to feed.
Go
Isn't that
ahead.
your words, TD? Time to feed. Man,
Go
am I
ahead.
ready to feed right now, man. Let's freaking bring it. It's just freaking just as simple. Last week, TD, you thought that Kansas City was going to actually bring destruction to this team, and it was the other way around. So flip-flop TB, congrats.
I straightened up.
Colby, I love you so much, man, but you are so wrong. Buffalo's a different team right now than what we faced you last time. It's this simple. McDermott's running the defense, which is bringing high-caliber quality defense to this league. We got rookies and past draft picks. We didn't think we're going to do good in defense, and they're coming through. And now Josh Allen, who everybody thought was just going to flip and drop off the earth, and nothing was going to happen, and he just keep on putting up this lazy stats. No, that is not the case, gentlemen. What is the case is Buffalo Bills are finding multiple ways to absolutely dominate team after team after team how they want to, not the other way around. Kobe, you were wrong about one thing. You said that's how Kansas City was beating teams this year. Kansas City's run offense has been suspect. Ours has been freaking amazingly good. DF forever. I'm getting the heck out of here.
Hold on, DF. He done dipped out on us,
I think
man.
DF forever might have confused a little bit what I said, but also just on the fact on we'll be scared about Buffalo because they're not the same team you faced at one point. Every team evolves. The New England Patriots aren't the same team. DeMario Douglas has evolved. I mean, there's other players in this offense that are evolving. Drake May is evolving. The running backs and Travion Henderson, they're evolving. And so it does go both ways. And that's why I'm not scared. I don't want to say I'm not scared, but that's what I'm saying is, yes, the Buffalo Bills are evolving, but they're not the only team in the league that's also evolving. Every team evolves as the season goes along.
So like I said, man, all season long, November and December football is what matters. This is when the season starts.
Bill Belichick said that.
Dan, what if the Patriots beat the Bucks? Then what?
Then I guess they're 8-2.
You wouldn't be
I
wrong.
guess they're 8-2.
Yeah,
I guess they're 8-2. Then I would say for the division would more than likely be in Foxborough.
On the road in New England.
On the road. But don't sleep on old man Joe Flacco. All right. Like he'll probably give up 50 points, but he could very well put up 60. You don't know.
Dude, that defense is like, dude, did you see that their defense, like several players are requesting trades? So it could be even worse in the next few weeks.
Yeah, dude.
Crazy.
Cincinnati's defense could indeed be a hell of a lot worse, followed by Joe Burrow forcing his way out this offseason. Anyway, thank you so much. We appreciate you for tapping in on another edition of the AFC's Roundtable. We will see you on Wednesday for the previews of Week 10. Week 10, holy hell, man. Time flies when you're having fun.
Crazy.
Peace, guys. Two a time. Good God.